All right, so we are going to start a new topic today, and you're going to notice that it's chapter 9, section 1, and it's day 1. So primarily what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to be looking at naming polynomials. That's all we're doing today, all right? So if we take a look at this, do you know how you guys have first names?
Yeah.
So like, let's see here, Ronald McDonald. We don't say McDonald Ronald, do we?
No.
Okay, and it's Barack Obama, not Obama Barack. That seems weird, right?
Other countries
They do it in other countries, but most of the time when we do it, you got first name, last name, and you do the first name first, right?
Yep.
Most of the time. Okay, so when we name a polynomial, the first name is where we look at exponents. So first of all, if I have a variable and the exponent has a 1, we call that linear, which makes sense. If I were to graph that, like y equals mx plus b, it's a line, so it's linear, okay? The next one is quadratic, and what that is if I have a variable and the exponent is 2, the largest exponent in the polynomial is 2, we call that a quadratic. A lot of people think quad like 4. That's not the case with this. Quadratic is x squared, and if I graphed it, it would be a parabola. It'd be kind of a U-shaped graph. Okay? The next one is cubic, and we've heard that before. That's like x to the 3rd power. 4th is quartic. It's x to the 4th. 5th is quintic, so it's x to the 5th. And then after that, there's no fancy name. It's 6th degree, 7th degree. So x to the 6th and x to the 7th. It's like, it had so many kids, I'm done with names. I'm just going to call you kid A, kid B, kid C, kid D. Okay? Yeah,
I got
right.
called JD. I have a stepbrother named JD, and it was JD number 1 and 2.
There you go. Yeah. Thing 1 and thing 2. Yeah. So it has fancy names all the way through the 5th, and then after that, there's no fancy name. Okay? Now, let's take a look at that next page for just a minute. We'll come back to this, but let's take a look at this. Okay? You're going to notice that I have the polynomial off to the left, and then we're going to take a look at the degree. Okay, so for the first one, I look at the degree. Notice I look at the variable, and what exponent is above the variable? It's a 1. It's not written there, but it's assumed that it's a 1. So it's a 1 degree, and notice that I call it linear. Okay. Look at the next polynomial. You'll notice that I have 2 variables, but you'll notice that the one that has the highest exponent is a 2. So it's 2, and I call it quadratic. Then I go to the next one. The largest exponent is 3, and so I call it cubic. And then the last one, you'll notice, is there a variable?
No.
There's no variable. So if there is a no variable, I'm just going to call it a constant. It's just a number. Okay? So that is the first name. Those are just the first names, and that's how I get them. Now I'm going to go back to that page, and again, if it's a number, it's just called a constant. And those are the first names. Now we're going to look at the last name. When I look at the last name, I look at the number of terms. Okay? So if I take a look at the first, it's called a monomial. Mono meaning 1, nomial meaning it's a polynomial. If there are 2 terms, bi, like a bicycle, has 2 wheels, or a biplane has 2 wheels or wings. Okay? Bi means 2, so nomial is a polynomial. Trinomial, 3, like a tricycle has 3 wheels. Nomial because it's a polynomial. And then you notice they ran short of names. Now it's just polynomial with 4 terms. Now some kids go, do I have to put polynomial in? Yes, you do. You have to put polynomial in because it's a special type of expression. Okay? So polynomial with 4 terms and polynomial with 5 terms. Okay? Now let's go to the table and see this in action. If I take a look at the first polynomial, you'll notice it says 7x plus 4, yes? You cut terms with addition and subtraction symbols. So do you see where you have an addition sign? Cut it, like that. The first term is 7x. The second term is 4. So that's 2 terms, and I call it a binomial. So this polynomial is called a linear binomial. Now take a look at the next one. You cut it where the addition signs are. Okay? I got 1, 2, 3. 3 terms. So I call it a trinomial. So this is a quadratic trinomial. Makes you sound really smart. That's a quadratic trinomial. Alright, this one. Are there any addition or subtraction symbols? No. So there's just one, and it's called a monomial. And then finally, this also doesn't have any addition or subtraction symbols, and I'm going to call that a monomial. So that is a constant monomial. First name, last name. Questions so far? Okay, let's go to the next one now. Here are the directions. Now last time they're like, so is the assignment like the notes? Duh. That's why I do the notes. Okay, it's sort of know how to do the homework. Okay, that's how we learn. So, name each polynomial in standard form. So I gotta get something in standard form, and then once I do that, I'm gonna name it by the degree and by the number of terms. First name, last name. So let's take a look at the first polynomial. All right, it's not in standard form. Standard form means that I get my variables in order according to their exponents. So you're going to see that this right here has a variable. So I'm going to write minus 2x plus 5. Where kids mess up on this is they don't put a negative in front of the 2. So make sure that you do that, and then the 5 is positive. Right now, let's do first name. What's the exponent of the variable? 1. It's a 1, so it's called linear.
So
It's linear.
So if it's monomial, that means it just has 2, like,
Monomial
cut it
is
in
the
half.
last name.
We're doing first name first. Okay, so exponent is 1, right? Because it's above the variable and it's linear. Okay, now let's look at number of terms. I cut it where there's addition symbol right here, right? So how many terms are there? 2. Negative 2x is 1 and 5 is the other. So what would be associated with the 2?
Binomial.
Binomial. Bi meaning 2. Okay? Okay. Let's go to the next one. Right? Highest exponent. So I'm going to go 3x to the 4th, because that's the highest exponent. And then
2x to the second.
plus 2x to the second, and then
Minus 4.
minus 4. I have to get it in standard form first. You got to know how to do that, because we're going to see that later. So you put them in order according to the highest exponent of the variable. Right now, what's the highest exponent?
4.
It's a 4, so what do I call it?
Quadratic.
4 is what?
Quadratic.
It's quartic. It's not quadratic. Quadratic is 2. Quartic is 4. How many terms?
3.
There are 3, so if I cut it, there's 3 terms. So it'd be called a trinomial. If you think you're a ninja, it helps. I'm kidding. That was supposed to be funny. Guess not. Okay, not funny.
Funny.
All right. Next one. What's the largest exponent? Yep, so x to the third minus 4x to the second minus 2x plus 5. So the sign in front of that term, it goes with it. Okay, what's the largest exponent? 3. So I call it cubic.
Oh, cubic.
Cubic.
I knew it. Yeah.
Okay, how many terms?
Polynomial.
Okay, there's 4 terms. So polynomial with 4 terms. And yes, you have to put polynomial because that's what it is. Yep.
Do you count like the 3x or the exponents?
I only look at the exponent. It's x cubed.
Okay.
So I look at the highest exponent.
Okay.
Good question. All right, number 4. There's nothing to get in order. What's the exponent?
Constant.
We don't have one, so it's constant. And there's 1, so it's monomial. This is kind of fun in a weird sort of way. It's not super hard, but you gotta get it. Okay, and you can't always look back at the chart. You gotta memorize it. We're gonna play Kahoot on Monday.
I'm not gonna be here. Dang it.
Why are you gonna be here?
Not gonna be
Because
here.
I've got.
All right, here we go.
And
Example. This is from your homework now. Tell whether the expression is a polynomial. So some of the expressions I'm going to give you aren't going to be polynomials. I'm going to try to trick you. All right? And if it is a polynomial, find its degree and classify it by the number of terms. Otherwise, tell whether it's not a polynomial. Blah, 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 blah. All it's saying is it a polynomial, yes or no? And if it is, name it. First name, last name. That's what it means. All it means. All right, so let's take a look at the first example. It's -6. Okay? You have to determine is it a polynomial. Now, I'm going to tell you it is, and you're going to go, well, why, and how do you know? I'll tell you why in a minute, okay? So first of all, is it a polynomial? Yes. I'm going to tell you it is. Okay? What's the first name? Yes. It is constant. Why?
Because it doesn't have exponent.
It does not have a variable with an exponent. Yes. Okay? Last name. Why?
Because there's
One
only
term,
one
right?
term.
Yep. Only one term. No addition or subtraction symbols cutting things in half. Okay, let's look at this next one. This next one, I'm going to tell you it's not a polynomial, and why do you think it's not? Yes.
Because it's a -3 to like exponent.
Yes. Right. So no, it has a negative exponent. And then you're done. You can't name it. All right, this next one is it in standard form? Yes, it is. Yep. It's the exponent of 3, and it comes before 2. All right, what's the highest exponent?
3.
So it's a,
Trinomial.
so yes, it's a cubic. How many terms?
Two by
2, so it's a binomial. Where kids get messed up is they don't get first name, last name. Okay, this next one, is it in standard form?
Yes.
No.
No, it's
Oh.
not. No, what comes first?
Negative
5x to the 4th plus 3x plus 9. So is it? Yes. It is a polynomial. It's a quartic.
Trinomial. Yeah, that
Yes.
word.
Trinomial. Question, something you don't understand, like why is it quartic or why is it trinomial? Okay? Last one, what do you think?
No.
It is not.
Because the W is a
Excellent. It's a thingy? The W's a thingy.
exponent.
Yeah, that's right. The W's an exponent. It has a variable for an exponent. Nope. It's up and to the right. So that would be an exponent. Big W. Question, something you don't understand. All right, then we'll go ahead and start our assignment.